The 30th of December, Rabbi Furst, Pirkei Avos.
Right. Good morning again, Rabbi Shlomo Furst, Yeshiva Samanafshi. Okay. Lou, we're learning in the Parsha, you have your Chumash there, in chapter Mem Zayin, chapter 47. Pasuk Yud. Pasuk Yud. Roy, you want to review that for Lou for a moment?
Sorry, what did you say?
Read the Pasuk and the Rashi for Lou.
All right. This is Pasuk what, 10?
Yes,
or 9? 10. All right. Pasuk 10, it's a short one. Vayivorech Yaakov es para vayitze milifnei Paro. And Yaakov blessed Paro, and he went out from before Paro.
Right.
And that's it. And the Rashi says that and Yaakov Vayivorech Yaakov, he gave him the salutations of peace. He gave Yaakov gave Para the salutation of peace, as is usual for all who take their leave of princes. They salute them and depart. A Midrash, however, understands this more literally and asks, what was the blessing with which she blessed him? It is that the waters of the Nile might rise at the approach of Paro, because Egypt does not drink and it is not irrigated by the rainwater, but by the waters of the Nile, which rise and irrigate Egypt. And from the time when Yaakov blessed him and henceforth, whenever Paro came to the Nile, it rose at his coming, overflowed its banks, and watered the land.
Right. So you understand with this blessing and the famine that had been going again. This, I think, the famine had been going on 2 years. The famine would now cease in Mitzrayim, at least. The famine was now about to cease because of the bracha of Yaakov, who gave this bracha to Paro. Because Rashi explains, Egypt is a dry land. It's like right there on the border of the Sahara. So really, Egypt and the delta of the Nile empty and exit by Mitzrayim. So by giving the Nile, the water of the Nile would arise and overflow their banks. So now that effectively put Egypt in a special situation that even though there may be famine in the rest of the world, but there's going to be water for the crops in Mitzrayim. That was a very significant bracha.
I'm incredulous that Yaakov would give such a bracha, because Paro is a Baal Avodah Zarah. He represents himself to be Hashem, Kiviyachol. And by giving him a bracha where the water rises towards him, it would seem to me that that is giving credence to the claim.
Well, there's discussion as to whether or not this paro is the same paro that had dealings with Moshe Rabbeinu. According to the Pashat Pshat is that this is not the same paro as the one that Moshe Rabbeinu was dealing with. What's a machlokus? And after all, Paro was doing a tremendous favor for Yaakov and his family, opening his land and his country for Yaakov to come and settle there. So it's only right that Yaakov Avinu should give back something in return. The question could be that, let's say that Paro was not on the level at this point of making himself into a avodah zarah, but by giving him this power, you may be makshel him, you may be causing him to err by giving him such supernatural powers. But even if that would be true, I'm not sure that Yaakov Avinu had to be concerned about that. His obligation was to return the hospitality of Paro in some way. Paro, they gave him a good bracha. You know, I guess he could have given a bracha. You should have nachas from the kinder, but Paro is probably not so interested in that. He was interested in something for his nation. Here, Yaakov Avinu was giving him something which would benefit Paro and his nation, which would be something very important for a king to have. Let's see here. Just want to see. Um, 1 second. See, that's going to be there's a machlokus. Rabin Shmuel, Rashi alludes to this, and we'll get to it, Parsha Shmos. Rabin Shmuel, when the pasuk said, "V'yakam melech chadash," and there came a new king over Mitzrayim, was it really a new king? Or just he was new with his gezeres? So it's the question as to whether or not the Paro that Yaakov Avinu was dealing with is the same Paro that Moshe Rabbeinu was going to be dealing with. But even if it is the same, you don't have to say he was so corrupt at this point. Don't forget this is a good 200 years plus, right? Yaakov Avinu was standing before Paro a good 200 years before Moshe Rabbeinu was standing before Paro. All right. Let's continue on. So Yaakov gave Paro the bracha, and then he left. And then what happened next?
11, 12. Where's 11? All right. 11 is the start of Shavi. Vyoshev Yosef es Aviv ואש אחיו ויותר להם אחוזה בארץ מצרים במרתף הארץ בארץ רמסס כאשר ציווה פרעה. 11. And Joseph settled his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded.
Let's see the Rashi here.
Rashi says he picks on Ramses. This is part of the land of Goshen. That's all that Rashi says.
So we want to try and clarify. You have two places here mentioned. One is Ramses, and one is Goshen. So, which was the greater area, or conversely, what was the smaller area?
Well, Ramses was part of the land of Goshen.
Oh.
So obviously it's the smaller area.
Goshen was the general area, and like Ramses was like a district within those Goshen.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay.
Good base.
Yeah.
Would you want more on that?
You have something else to add on the previous puzzle?
All right. Good base. Yosef es Aviv, ואש אחיו, ואש כל בית אביו, לכם לפי הטוב. 12. And there was, and Joseph supported his father and his brethren.
Yeah, go ahead, Roy.
All right. And Rashi comments, Lefi Chatef, according to the little ones, according to the requirements of all their household. Not plentifully, says the footnote, but enough to live on. Compared with Sforno's commentary. See, however, Mizrahi, who explains that the phrase, according to their little ones, is intentionally employed because children waste much bread. Joseph supplied his father and his brother, etc., with bread, even according to the requirements of children. In other words, in abundance.
Interesting. Yeah, he says that children waste a lot of bread, huh?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
Yeah, but I want to ask you a question, Roy. Blue Wolves, why don't they waste candy?
Why don't they waste candy? Because it sticks to their teeth.
Okay. Yeah, because the
Yeah, no, they leave candy lying about too. That's true. They'll be less likely to waste sweets than to waste basic
I
foods.
guess so. I remember there was a certain I was learning with someone in their house. We'd have a chavrusa in his house in the morning after the davening. So so he lived on the top floor, and there was on the floor below him was a family with the Baruch Hashem had kids. You know, the mother took very good care of the kids, sending them out of the house with with sandwiches for their morning or afternoon meal, whatever it might be. So I was once walking down the steps, and there was like an electrical box in the stairwell of the apartment building. So someone had left the door open to the electrical box, and a bunch of these nylon bags with sandwiches in it.
Right. So
So
that's
I
one way
kind of surmised.
Huh.
What do you say? Go ahead, Wade. What do you say?
Yes,
Kind of surmised that the child, as soon as he closed the door, he ditched the sandwich in the electrical box.
maybe he wanted to toast them.
Could be. And now they were plenty stale, I can tell you that.
Right. All right.
So Joseph, so you have because the question is, why did the Torah have to go out of its way to explain he gave them, he supplied their needs, according to the needs of the children as well. Right? So yeah, okay, you have several different answers about that. Okay, very good.
Maybe,
Yeah.
it may be because it shows that Joseph wasn't holding any grudges, and he felt quite responsible for his family.
Yeah.
Felt paternally responsible in a paternal sort of way, even though he was a younger person in the family.
Right.
He had that position in Egypt.
He was able to do it. He was in a position of able to do it. So he didn't hide and shirk his responsibility.
Mhm.
Very good. Okay. Let's see another pasuk or two. We have some time yet.
Yeah, I just would like to comment that,
Sure.
if I may, that I've noticed a couple of phrases here that parallel phrases elsewhere in the Chumash. When he reveals himself, he says, "I'm Joseph. Is my father alive?" And his brothers couldn't answer him, for they were amazed at his presence. And then Joseph said to his brothers, "Step near to me." These are the words that Yitzchak used to Joseph when he wanted to give the bracha.
Uh-huh. that Yitzchak, to give the bracha to Yaakov, yeah. Right, oh, yes. Okay, very good.
The phrase, and I can't, I forgot what it was and where it is. I can't find it now. Another phrase that similar in echo what happened
Um,
earlier. Anyway,
what you remember which phrase you were referring to now?
no, I can't remember the words of the phrase nor where it
Mm.
was. I've been looking for it, but it's yeah. And anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point is that there seems to be maybe some tenuous connection with the past.
Yeah. No, you see many times that Chazal, Midrashim, Darshanim, they make points about this. When you see there's a whole sefer you should know, whole sefer that's written based on this premise that when you see similar or exact or even similar phrases in the Chumash, that there's an intentional connection between these statements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I can look that up for you. Let's see. Which pasuk was that again? That
It was in Memhay in Pasuk 4, and they did this is yeah, Pasuk 4. In the middle of Pasuk 4. Middle of Pasuk Dalet. Yeah.
okay. I'll get Gashu no Eli. Gashu no Eli. So that's the same. Let's see. Hold on. Dalet Memhe Dalet. Let's see here. Gashu no. Okay, I have to check into that.
And maybe where Yosef gave Benjamin more than he gave his brothers. He gave him 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment, of clothing, prior to sending them off back home, back to their father. He gave his brothers wagons and clothes, right? So this is Memhay 21, 22. And to all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. That's like showing favor to the youngest as favor was shown to just as
Right.
just as Yaakov showed favor to Yosef, Yosef showed favor to Benjamin, sort of like repeating history, almost maybe repeating the mistakes, giving the brothers a chance to redeem themselves by not following the same path as they did before.
That could be, yeah. I know that this point is discussed, yeah. That they do make a point about why Joseph was showing favoritism to Binyamin. Now look, after all, they were brothers more than the other brothers were brothers, right? So you can't really fault him so much for that. Okay, very good. Fine. All right, Mitzvah, maybe hold here. Stop here. Good. Should both have a very good Shabbos. And
You too.
okay, hope to see you on Yom Rishon.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.
Roy. Have a
Bye.
nice day. See you both. Okay.
See-
Bye.
See you, Lou. See you soon.
Okay, right. See ya. Bye-bye.